August 2nd, 2021. I'm watching the garbage, rubbish, let's call it at the moment, that they're showing on the TV. Now, star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. Now, here is a theoretical. Are you ready? I wrote yesterday, I'm like, there's an American Civil War going on right now. At the exact same time that we have a World War I and a World War II of issues. In the other side of, not the USA, but it's meeting at the USA in a parallel dimension because there's so much mixing and zero opportunity here. So it's now pulled in countrymen with statesmen, and it's a real disgusting sewage. Why? Because I asked you to wait till this woman's gone. I don't hear a woman, Lynn. All right, so now if this right here is a depiction of New York state of mental health. It's on a ventilator, and this is what the people that know what climate change and what atmospheric and bioterrorism looks like in hazmat suits, this would be the one in the know, which would be myself at the moment. I don't have a count higher than one because I've never met another one that knows things. Listen to how the news explains it. You have World War I going on with the white against the white people that don't know anything like Lynn and Lou. And then you get World War II with shitbags that are other colors and other ethnics that know more than my World War I kids. And now I've got a war of a whole nother kind, being this American Civil War, trying to protect my genetic health instability and atmospheric climate from being attacked by bioterrorism, and from the World War I white kids allowing the World War II not white kids from gaining access to things. It's a real hard place to be and staying safe.
I spoke with a lot of healthcare workers recently, and they are saying right now the biggest challenge they are facing is a lot of misinformation.
I'd be the Delta variant of truth for the WW1 kids. This is
while we are using mitigation measures, including wearing masks.
Okay, so the guy that's running CDC at the moment is saying that World War II, their only way to stay viable and safe is for them to wear their masks and pretend like they're up to good. Meanwhile, they're really not. Just to gain space in everybody's head within the World War I subset. I'm watching from an alien perspective over this disgusting thing. I'm a Delta. So for me, I'm the Delta variant. I'm watching over World War I and II try to communicate in a large-scale communications project, and it's like, and then I gotta talk to the dumb fucking and useless I was delivered to, I fell out of a foxhole with, and they're supposed to be like the lead intelligence in the home, but they have none. It's a real fucking problem.
We even have text in a way as a bit of,
and then I gotta listen to this mental torture try to make sense of World War I and II's objectives and how to get kids like me protected from being hit for trying to help the communications project, first a section being World War I kids. They've mixed up their bag of shit so bad, they're so virally infected, it's disgusting.
No horseplay allowed in the dugout.
Okay, so now here is a piece on the New York Coast Guard. Apparently Laura Fahey or Fagan got into the Coast Guard, which is fine. But what my point is here is she says some really key up words, like she wants the Coast Guard to change to look more like what's on land. Why? The land army's already telling you that they're infected and they're having mutiny on the Bounty of inheritance. Why would you then infect your last line of defense, meaning the water, by taking on any of the land shits? Just curious. Why would you transfer? The land's already having a problem. Your last line of defense is the water. Why would you allow the land problems on the water? How do you think that you lose control of the planet, humans? I'm just curious. In leadership. You are like letting all branches of service get infected at the same time. How are you going to win this one? And how are you going to pull this out in the end and protect yourselves? Why would you try to overreach the guardianship, which is a very specific look? Why would you... There's a reason why you depend on them. There's a reason why they look the same always. There's a reason why they're a little different and they don't like to socialize with all the socially awkward humans that are constantly trying to, like, break stuff as far as we're concerned, because it's all I really see as far as an outcome and an output of results. It's like, don't think so hard. Don't try to be so helpful. We'll tell you what we need.
We welcome you back to CBS This Morning. Only on CTM we're hearing from the first woman to be named a 4-star Coast Guard Admiral.
Nobody has any idea what that
interview
means.
since taking the job. Admiral Linda Fagan has worn the uniform for 40 years. She served
Where I come from just means you're an admirable person in your job.
And New York Harbor, with a lot of other ports along the way. Our Catherine Herridge spent some time with her on the water.
New York Harbor.
And she joins us now from along the Potomac River near Washington. Catherine, good morning.
David, after 9/11, the Coast Guard was moved into the Department of Homeland Security, where it has a broad domestic and international portfolio. The need has never been greater at a time the force is undergoing profound change.
When you first set foot on the
It needs to be secured, not change.
you will become the vice commandant, the #2 position in the Coast Guard. Absolutely not.
Admiral Linda Fagan's journey to a position overseeing some 40,000 Coast Guardsmen has taken her to all 7 continents.
Homeland Security is not a home game. There's an away game component to it, and we operate in both the home game and the away game.
Parallel dimensions.
Potomac's iconic shoreline earlier this summer, Fagan described a mission that combines policing with the might of a military service.
It is about presence in law enforcement, much more than, lethality, like our Navy counterparts talk about.
While addressing the needs of an evolving force.
They look at some of the policy changes that are helping us retain women, the focus on diversity and inclusion so that we better represent the public that we serve.
Before getting
Wrong. You are not allowed to change your all white, all right, all tight policy from a royal legal perspective. You're now engaging in heresy. That's how that works. You can't protect heresy and your bloodline from bioterrorists either manipulating your DNA sequence or coming through artificial process in order to harm you. I come from a line, my grandmother, this woman, was hit. She died. She was a perfectly healthy woman her entire life, had 10 kids. Then all of a sudden, so that's 10 afterbirths that were stolen. Then after that, she all of a sudden in her 50s lost her leg motility and mobility. And she started with ALS, and so that's Lou Gehrig's disease, and with multiple sclerosis. That's a physician's perspective, not the medical doctor on land. It's not even an army doctor at this point because they're so disgusting and polluted. And you're not allowed, unless you want full heresy to take hold in a sense of you've lost everything, you're not allowed to change the demographic of the employment. Because you start to teach other people how to be better
CBS
criminals.
News spent the morning with the Admiral at Coast Guard headquarters with rare access to the daily operations brief.
Gust up to 130 miles per hour.
Okay. We always start with the weather. We're a seagoing service.
In the ceremonial hall, we sat down for the Admiral's first network TV interview since starting the job in June. What's the biggest misconception?
We are globally deployed, and I think that is probably a misconception. Well, you're the Coast Guard, shouldn't you just be along the coast?
That includes responding to migrants fleeing the ongoing crises in both Cuba and Haiti.
There are 20 people that we know have lost their lives in the last month in those attempts.
Why would you want what's in here that are family members in that sub? Why would you want that to be employed with the guy on the top trying to do the good guy work?
In drug overdose.
It kind of is a defeatist way.
Safe passage for
Seems like the enemy's getting the best of your mental capacity to even, like, make decisions,
the
humans.
supply chain.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. Disruption of the supply chain in a way that then begins to, impact our just way of life.
Everyday consumers.
Everyday consumers, yep. As I said, it's the Nikes get here, they get here on a ship in a container.
At 18, Fagan
I
enrolled
don't know
at the
what she
Coast Guard
means by
Academy.
Nike. I don't. We don't have the same playbook. We don't have the same vocals. Somewhere it's the same, but I don't have a network like she does.
First tour.
At the time, the executive officer, when I did my brief, was like, actually, we thought about canceling your orders. We didn't want only one woman on board. And thankfully they did not, and it was an incredible first tour for me, really impactful for everything that came after that.
3 minutes?
Women now make up 15%, and minorities roughly 30% of the Coast Guard's active duty force.
I'm not impressed by these numbers. In fact, they're really fucking scary.
Still the only woman at the
That
table.
has to do with motherland, fatherland, and then the mixed army problem.
We do not yet reflect the society who we serve, and we need to keep working on that.
With a daughter serving in the Coast Guard is
Yeah, we do need to keep
personal for
working on that,
Fagan, who
cleaning
says
up,
assistance with things like
putting it back to the way it was
are making a difference for this
before you all
generation.
broke the world.
Particularly women face, career and family choices that we make it easier for them to envision themselves still serving with this incredible organization.
As our tour concludes,
I would have no
Fagan
idea
reflected on
where
the
you would
gravity of her
even
mission.
have entry point on this from the mother and father I was born to.
And charting the course for the next generation.
I recognize I am now providing a set of shoulders for those who will come after.
Admiral Fagan is just the third woman to be Vice Commandant of the Coast Guard. Fagan said their service has paved the way for hers, and now it's her turn to pay it forward. Anthony.
Congratulations to the Admiral, Catherine. Thank you, but still the only woman at the table, as you point out. We'll be right back.
I do like the fact that they were able to, within her career, keep her as one woman with a whole set of men, because that goes back to the Majestics. While I'm held as prisoner of war and missing in action, at least they were able to keep that one piece of subset, have some woman who is like-minded and like attitude, that if I didn't